Ah.
He made it from the PDF.
Hands off.
I mean, there's other stuff you could get if you wanted.
I mean, I do want other stuff.
I was talking to Saigar. There's a mystery bracelet that I think you would really appreciate.
No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it's been a month. All the items change. Give us a new list
with
deal.
Yeah,
people-
shops are refreshed.
She actually,
Good, Mark.
yeah, she actually tells you that she's got some new invisible weapons in, but by the time you got there, she's misplaced them.
Wonderful.
Why is there an exclamation mark? Never mind. Benji, your stream for some reason. Just me?
What's up?
I see it too.
Exclamation mark over Kybius's
Just click
Stream.
reconnect on the thing.
Ah, okay, got it.
Yeah. Fixed.
It's so weird. Neat. I'm sure you have some questions about the last month, but just a few things that I wanted to mention. You discover that there are calls of violence about a week into this time period, and it turns out that when you do all have a chance to sort of find out what's going on, and you rush out into the middle of the city, you find out that someone was basically beaten to not an inch of their life, but like pretty severely with a large crutch, as Garrow is then hospitalized for several weeks. And you wake up one morning basically to find Karna outside your door, and she doesn't say much, but uncharacteristically gives Warren a big hug, punches you in the kidney, and then a big hug to Morgaine, and to all of you really, as she is walking fine again. You hear one very disturbing report that Kiovasan, when she hears it as well, arches a brow at collectively all at you, and that is you discover that despite having stuck around for an entire month after Saigar refused to wear his crown out in public a single day, a full month later, your froggy companion Vale basically has informed you that because of this disagreement, he was going to be extending the argument, or the time period you guys are going to be wearing your crowns, by another week, just so Saigar learns his lesson. And he stuck around for a full month to sort of make sure that people were playing his game accordingly, essentially. And then when he did finally leave, it was in the middle of the night, and a single person reported seeing something that was terrifying to them. They were just gibbering, horrified for days. But when eventually they were able to sort of express what they had seen, they claimed they saw a small shape that they were watching during the night, like a small bug or a sparrow shoot straight up from the center of the city. And as it continued to fly, it grew and grew and grew to be some kind of giant bat-like creature. And then he basically blacked out as it disappeared in the actual how itself. And people are claiming this must be some part of the Fae curse as well, the madness that he had experienced.
Good cover.
But it is the 31st of the month. And I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to do, but this is the day that that finally the arrival of Epitaph and Ironghast take place. There is the tapestry that is laid out somewhere in the city after Arxis contacts you via the sending spell, and thousands of people, I believe, like I said, 1,000 people is what I had mentioned, basically start making their way through about 500-ish people start making their way through this tapestry after having been basically forewarned ahead of time. Is there anything else that you guys have questions about during this month period?
The only thing I wanted to say was that Warren, pretty early on after Morgaine's whole speech, does name the soldiers of the land, and it is not the most creative of names.
Yes!
He would have gathered the people together after wearing the crown for a bit and saying that it was a sort of a representation of what an ass he'd been, and for people to feel free to take pot shots at him. As the last time he'd spoken to them, he had his ass kicked by the simplest of recruits. But he calls people together because going forward, just as Morgaine's done, it's important that this nation, you all matter a lot, and especially since, you might be wondering, after everything's Morgaine's talked about, where you fit in, especially because we want to stop wars and we want to change the way things are done. The importance is that for a kingdom that's going after second chances and is trying to change the future, your role won't be to defend them from danger, it will be to protect their dreams of the future. Your interactions with the people every day will be so much closer than just someone who puts a sword in front and fights the enemy. It will be people who protect the dreams of an end to the cycles of war on Rios. And I've always thought of the image, despite spending my whole life on Epitaph, where they came from, they were the defenders. They stopped conflict. They killed creatures. But you, just like Morgaine, who's leading us, are the protectors.
Goes over very well.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to interrupt you there. Sorry. Protectors of.
Yeah. Of more than just their lives, but their dreams. That's the important one. And I'm the protector of your dreams. The future that you want, I'm here to make sure happens. So, remember that. That's all.
Named the Protectors. There is that's a name that catches on quickly. And it's an important name because it comes to you at some point in time that the Ka has basically also sort of named their own military that's being mobilized as the Sable Guard.
Sable Guard?
Yeah.
Ooh, ominous.
They have
Anything else?
Categories.
Oh God. Anything else people want to mention over the course of this entire month?
I'm sure people are just staggered by the amount of time it is, and like, what would my character have done in a month?
For sure.
Definitely that ceremony of like the government positions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine actually that comes pretty shortly after Morgaine's fucking speech and gets to use our brand new feasting hall.
Yeah, feasting hall definitely is a good contribution to that.
I think it's a good opportunity to lay out how we see it running.
Can you tell me really quickly, just in short terms, what this celebration looks like, Galadrian? For you, at least?
Oh yeah, Galad's in charge, what it looks like.
It was. I don't know if I could do it in short terms. I had a whole thing written out.
Okay.
You
can go the whole long term. That's fine too.
Well, then I think Galad would insist that, similar to Vale getting the people together on that cliffside, we would have another one of those, and go to town a little bit with the baton.
Okay. I have a map for that.
I love the drama. What?
Holy shit.
Oh my god, it's got animated fireworks.
God.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's got sound effects.
Galadrian, when you introduce yourself to the people of Doka's Ur, how does it go? Other than your full chorus and orchestra behind you, of course.
Obviously. Well, he would take a step up, raise the baton for a moment and take a breath, A squad of soldiers in navy blue Fey attire would shimmer in, playing the heroic trumpet fanfare as well, and then a splash at the air as he begins conducting, his image splitting into multitudes that each conduct a different piece. A choir of cannons ring out, launching fireworks high into the air. A second squad marches into existence, this one playing a shrill and festive tune on bagpipes. A pack of Zagobites would swoop down through the air, only to
Of course!
for a second, flying in graceful patterns in and around the ethereal fireworks. An archer's line blinks into the scene, launching dozens of brilliant arrows wreathed in glittering rainbow fire. Another slash at the air as Glad rips the archers from realities before the arrows can fall towards the ground and the crowd. Usually so composed, you see Galadriel fully committed to the performance, sweat dripping freely down his head, his face equal parts passionate glee and intense concentration as he's fervently weaving the baton through the air. A second volley of cannonballs would launch into the air, a starburst pattern exploding in brilliant blinding light miles into the sky. The Zagobites converging as one through the center of the nova, only to dive back to the ground and skim above the crowd's heads. A third squadron of snare drummers blink in, drumming furiously as they build to the climax. Suddenly, each and every image of Glad performs one final slash, a deafening boom as each cannon fires one last burst. The trumpets reach their crescendo and the bagpipes sing out. The winged creatures give a final lap, shaking off dazzling blue dust at the same moment the last pyrotechnics set off. For seconds, it seems like it's daylight again. When the illumination fades, the performance goes with it. Only Galad remains, arms outstretched and panting.
So what you're saying is like a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10 for Galad.
That was a warm-up. No, I'm just kidding. That's all I've got.
Oh my god.
Like an amazing.
We don't need to introduce him. He can call himself
Yeah, he
whatever
did a good
wants.
enough job himself.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, Morgaine's like putting the helmet on like a nearby cliffside, like, so I'm just gonna like shout out your name and say that you're, okay, that's...
It's
My
late
name
now.
is Galad. I am the plan. And I would do one.
You know how other people have to work for things like, you know, legacy and fucking the hand out the votes for every single session? It all comes so naturally and so easily to Galad. You can have a point of legacy, and I'm sure that I'm going to give you a bonus card next week.
Amazing.
It's less than he deserves, honestly.
Thank you.
You turn the script. It's not he's with us. It's we're with him.
Well, does the crowd like it?
They're really confused at first, and they're really overwhelmed at the end, but the vast majority of it, they're pretty sure that, like, this is the greatest thing they've ever seen.
Starting to remember the nat 20 I rolled on the magician's performance check and how, like, much worse it is.
Yeah, they thought that, like, maybe Morgaine was getting married or something, or, like, another god died, but, like, in a really festive confetti kind of way or something, and then they discovered that it was just you saying hi, and it's a lot. It's a lot of energy.
I thought I was getting married.
We're
Just
disturbing you all. Sorry, what'd you say, Kaz?
Nothing. Making a stupid joke.
But all right. And it's a very anticlimactic statement after that, but your petitioners / advisors do in fact arrive, and flanked by dozens of Warforged, you all are basically doing like the handshaking and meet and greet thing for all the new people until you hear a voice that booms out that goes, "Captain Eddie, Captain Grant, I can't tell you how happy I am to be rid of the sand twixt my arse." And this
Delightful.
fat, bald man comes jogging out. He's covered in like furs and pelts. He's got like a satchel tucked over each shoulder. One of them is bleeding for some reason. The other has like long claw scratches on it for like his worldly possessions. And like he's at the lead of the Epitaph Pirates, who really stand out against the crowd, taken out of sort of their natural environment. You can really tell like when Irongast and her people stop and Epitaph begins. It is hard for you to imagine that without Morgaine's speech. Oh, I love that. Without Morgaine's speech, you would have been able to intermingle these people, and some of them you do have to like take aside at some point in time and tell them they do actually have to wear like real clothing now.
Oh man.
One of them has brought an alligator, what you think is like a rug at first, and then you find out later that it's a pet that he has slung over both shoulders. And like, there's so many questions and so many concerns that you have, but like he's in the crowd instantly. And I don't think I ever gave like a sheet for Suwal out. I should really do that real quick. I'm gonna organize all of this stuff here later, but really quickly, for Galadriel mostly, the elven archer, former team leader of Team Black in the Sky, and this man who looks like he is like an extra in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Tumba, are the members of your new advisory council. And Warren, he dumps what you think again looks like a small furry live animal at your feet, and then like a big giant door with a skull tied to it, and says, "Brought everyone, nearly everyone, mind you. Few folks stayed behind at the Wisp of the Water with Fable. This is a nice place."
There's a lot fucking more of you than I thought were coming. I thought it was gonna be a few. You brought the whole fucking city here.
Well,
Oh my.
we did what you said. We were gonna lead a better life, find a purpose, kill ageless elsewhere. Did you know you got an ageless problem right there? And he points at the golden snail in the distance.
Yeah, I'd put a pin in that for now. Don't
Yeah.
really need to worry about that one.
Slow moving. Give me 24 hours and a handful of men. We'll melt it down.
You could get it done in quicker than that if you wanted to, but not yet. All right, you don't gotta get going so quick. You gotta have time to figure out your own home, right? You really brought this many people through the Core Desert.
Well, they were accommodating. Seemed like they knew we were going to be arriving, but most of us came through Epitaph.
Oh, the tapestry.
Iron Gas, pardon me.
Right.
Through the tapestry, yes.
Good idea. Well,
Warren's like, glad I thought of it.
And
Yeah.
we heard good things. Yeah. Come bearing gifts. And he picks up this big, you think it's a door for a second, he realizes it's like a tower shield that has a human skull about as tall as Warren is, essentially, lashed to it with like ship roping, and he just pushes it into Saigar's hands, and then picks up like the mound of furs that appears to be like, you think for a second it's like a living thing, that you realize is like, no, it's some kind of like pelt or something that he just sort of hands over to Kyvius.
It's alive?
It's not, but it's like freshly dead.
Wait, to me or to Cavius?
He shoves a big giant tower shield with a skull on it,
Yeah.
like a giant-sized skull towards Saigar, and then Kyvius a freshly skinned, like leather armor pelt set of equipment that looks like it is still dripping internally.
Fresh off the bone.
Yeah, fresh off the bone.
Thank you.
That looks absolutely lovely, Cavius.
Why don't you try it on and see if it fits you?
It's a Sirish that a bitch to kill.
Do I know what a Sirish is?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay, I'd look at Warren and be like, a Sirish.
They are Sirish armor, huh? I'm just. When I get things settled, I like to look. You know, just curious.
And I promised you, alright? Hang on for a moment. He like stops you, interrupts you mid-sentence, and like sets down the sack and starts going through and like stops the line of people that are coming through the tapestry as there's like that very odd teleportation hold up where you like see arms and legs half moving through this realm between worlds.
A writ? You said? Tumba, can you write?
It wasn't from me, it was from the car for 500 slaves. Part of our deal, remember, as the advisors to the throne, as it were.
Yeah, I remember that.
Are you wearing a crown?
For Galad's the show? Yeah. Also, I already have a halo. It's not very weird for
Yeah.
me.
Tumba
Suppose
sees
that's
this,
true.
laughs, scoops it off your head, spits on the ruby, gives it a little shine, and then plops it back.
You know, you took a good guess at that. That one could have been attached to me with how many bobs I got coming out of me.
I didn't even think of that. And you can hear a voice like echoing as if through many long corridors of a very high-pitched, frantic hobgoblin voice saying, "I can't keep this thing stable forever. What's the holdup?"
Let them keep coming. Keep coming. Everybody scoot over. Make room for Erithus. Make
sorry.
room.
Pardon me, Captain Grant. Hey, all times, jam donk!
Yeah, you fucking right. You got that right, bringing everybody in.
Ah! And they scooch out of the way, and more people start making their way through. And you can see that like Arxis is like the very, very last one where as they had moved through this brief little realm between worlds, there's like a almost like blue stepping stones beneath them. As you can see that like from all around them, as if fraying, that encroaching darkness has begun to sort of like devour the edges of the tapestry. Like that same darkness that exists within the Titan's Gate seems like it is eating away at this brief little barrier between the teleportation worlds. And Arxis is doing everything he can to kind of like keep it steady, but he's the last one out. And just like Galadriel earlier, he has sweat dripping from his face as he emerges through this this little hobgoblin, takes a good look around massive valley and goes, "Well, and I thought I was good at keeping secrets. So, what do you call this place?"
Home.
So yeah.
But also Docus Ur.
Okay. Follow-up question, why?
I knew that was
I
coming.
would love to let you know who came up with that name. In fact, we'll bring you to them for stories.
I should throw you guys some item cards here while I'm thinking of it. Hang on, I need some epitaph music. Where is everyone else during this procession of new people arriving?
So I love the show, but this is like, but because the culture is so fascinating to me. Like I'm keeping my mouth shut and just like observing Warren bringing them into the fray. But like, yeah, but I'm completely fascinated by just how different the people from Epitaph are.
God, I can't imagine like them walking into Galad's party.
I'm gonna throw these items up in the shared inventory section. It's a lot to read, so don't worry about it like for the moment, but it's there when you want to take a look. Saigar, when you are trying to like examine this giant fucking tower shield and trying to figure out what this giant skull attached to it is, Tumba of course fills you in. It's a Biclops skull.
Nobody else has to read the hide. It was literally written for my character. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, and the shield was, yeah.
I didn't right either of these recently. Again, this is all pre-existing stuff. It was just like after Warren existed, I'm like, oh, cool. Well, that's going to get pushed to this area of the game instead, and I'm going to slap a Warren quote on there because it's I know who it's going to.
I have a feeling this probably belongs to you, Morgaine.
Some fucking book.
I think you could probably get better use of this than I could. I can barely lift this goddamn thing up.
It looked that heavy. A bit gaudy, though, right? Doesn't exactly say, hey, I'm here to help.
You're all right on that one. It's a bit godly. And Kyvius, you immediately Arxis has made his way over to you and says, there are two matters we have to discuss. The first is that of my academy. The second and more pressing is the matter of the Sky Beast. It is only a matter of time before a winged creature would discover this place if it hasn't already. What arcane protections are in place currently?
Arcane protections from the sky?
From the Sky Beast, yes. Masking this entire valley with an illusion would be difficult and costly, but not impossible.
Well, you see, interestingly enough, we kind of have an in-the-sky built-in security system.
He's got 2 wings.
Yeah, you might call it a Sky Beast.
Ah, yes. All right.
So we haven't exactly set up any enchantments because we have a Sky Beast.
And my academy, how long until that's completed, as per our earlier agreement?
Yes.
We haven't started yet.
Question. Wonderful question. That is something that we'd like to get started on as soon, really our next building, if possible.
If it's completely fair, I had thought about building it before you arrived, but decided that if I built it and you hated it, that'd be worse than waiting for your advice.
It would be. We wanted to wait for you to get here so you could give us some of your input on some of your needs.
Hold on. Did you say next building? As in you only build one structure at a time? Whose idea was that?
One every 2 weeks. It's very weird.
The camera.
You can't build more than one at a time. How are they going to know what to build?
Oh boy.
I suppose you're right. Still, it seems awfully slow.
What?
Look,
Hey,
I
listen,
only have 2
listen.
hands.
We don't disagree. We don't disagree.
You haven't
Sometimes
built anything
it
in a
feels
month.
like it's been months since we've built something.
There's the 10 guys been working on the feasting hall. They're getting paid by the hour. They're all government employees. Hospital, 1 night. Feasting hall, I don't fucking month, whatever. And
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that since we had a month to prepare, I think at the very least Warren would have had time to find places. Just Epitaph people don't need much. He knows what they'd like.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is not a good time for it, but I wanted to say as well that while everyone is watching this enormous procession, Saigar, I imagine you're probably not front and center for all of this, are you?
Not front and center, no. Just watching and observing.
I imagine, a couple of nearby buildings a ways away. You are actually joined at this point in time abruptly by a figure that you recognize. And standing tall and wearing the exact same ring that you once wore in your youth, your father has watched the procession of people coming into the kingdom and then over to you and notes the quiver of arrows on your back and the ratty clothes that you still wear, but for the very first time appraises you with a warm look and says, we haven't spoken, really, since our arrival, but I couldn't be more proud.
That's perfectly great, Father, but I don't think I really care whether you're proud of me or not.
You don't have to acknowledge it. I just thought you should know. I don't fully understand the finer points of why you chose to accomplish all of this. And I'm sure that your own motivations would differ than mine, but I just thought you should know that while I was content, hoping that you would someday grow up to be a lord of the people like you old man, you have far surpassed my wildest dreams.
I didn't do this to get your blessing.
No,
In
of course
fact,
not.
I do everything to be completely different than what you ever will be or were.
It's very true. Your manner of thinking is something that I could never personally understand, but with one command, you managed to convince the common folk to throw their wealth away and therefore have accomplished more than I ever could. That has transformed our family's own wealth, for those of us wise enough to catch on to your obvious plot, into fortunes that will last a lifetime. Just this morning, I parted with a single pair of gold rings to acquire bodyguards for the future. House Glaren will live on forever, thanks to you. And for that, I wanted to say I'm proud of you, whether you like it or not.
That's truly unfortunate that you missed the point of all of this. And it looks like some things will never change.
I remember when I was your age too, rebellious, couldn't stand my old man. He didn't seem to care about anything other than money, no values past that. But I resolved to never be the same way. I care about the name of House Glaren and what it stands for and my children. The legacy
And
that
then
will work
tell
together.
me, I interrupted this one. What exactly did it stand for?
We have done so well for ourselves. And I'm just so glad to see that you're carrying on the traditions.
You think I'm doing this for myself?
I did it so that my children wouldn't have to starve. What are your reasons are your own, I'm sure. But I appreciate you paying forward the favor.
Again, I think you misunderstood what we're trying to do here. To be quite honest, I'm not sure why I'm letting you continue having your wealth.
Well, little rude. Saga, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You've never had to know the taste of the wooden ones that your fellows have. That counts for a lot. And you should be grateful. And even though you never have been, I wanted to be the better man in this case and tell you that I'm grateful for what you have done for me.
You want
Got
me
the
to be
common folk.
grateful that you watched that while I watched you destroy the lives of so many, trample upon people as if they don't really exist? What is to be grateful about that?
I just thought that you should know that I was proud of you.
As I
That's
said,
all.
I don't give a fuck about whether you think you're proud of me or not.
That said, thank you for what you've done. You've guaranteed House Glaren's continuation in the future, and I wasn't sure about all of this at first, but now I'm glad we came. I have been appointed as the official spokesperson representative of the city's nobles, due to my connections, of course, to the ruling class, and you and I will be speaking much more in the future. I hope that we can be on more congenial terms in public, yes?
Don't count on it.
Jeez.
You have perhaps lived for one too many days in the woods, my son.
You've lived one too many days living your fat ass in a building, not realizing what people actually go through in this world.
He scowls at this point, all semblance of congeniality having faded, and stalks off. And that
There's
is
no
where
there's no one around to hear me at this point, right?
no,
I think I have a problem I need solving.
this is where the six of you find yourself on the 31st of Erithus' month, as the month draws to the close and the day of grief draws near. You've had a good long month to think about what the future is going to hold for the six of you. And as the people of Iron Gas and Epitaph begin to slowly integrate with the people of Dokus Ur thanks to the rules that have been set up by Morgaine, and in fact all of you up until this point, and you look out upon your fledgling kingdom growing larger and larger by the day, just as Vale would want and just as is necessary for these people's lives to have the standards that they deserve. What do you do on this day?
On the 31st?
1 month later. Yep.
Was there any discussion last session about what the plan is? I don't know. I missed that.
I already enacted like sort of what I had planned out. I think there like my big ask is the Constitution of Conduct, but that's likely going to be a longer discussion.
Vale's still gone?
Vale has just left like yesterday. Yes.
Oh.
That means no bedtime.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. He stuck around for like a full month to make sure that you were all wearing crowns and stuff, and then he left at the end of the month as opposed to immediately. Yes.
I see where you're going with this deal. I catch what you're putting down.
Okay.
I pick up where.
You want to clue the rest of us in?
Morgana telling us to go to bed.
Yeah, if we wanted to, like, I don't know, leave for some reason. Well, here's the thing, right? We talked about going to see the Speakers of the Sky, like the people who know about the mantles.
The Keepers of the Kiln.
Yeah, that's a way better name. But also, Vale's not home, and where he lives is there. So that's also something.
I mean, where he lives is already in our kingdom, right? He just didn't want us to leave the kingdom.
I'm sure that argument will hold up with him.
It'll hold up in court.
If you wanted to like sneak down into his chasm, there's lots of time that he's not there. Actually, he really just sleeps there at night. Most of the time during the day, he's walking amongst the people. So it wouldn't have to be something you'd have to do immediately.
Do we need to roll for that or anything?
I don't think so. No, if you wanted to make a session where we started by having you like fucking delve down into his lair, that's certainly an option for you. And I'm going to use the word lair because I think that's we all know at this point in time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely would. I think Sagar would definitely want to do that. He's got a lot of suspicion combined with anger with a bunch of things going on. He's got issues.
Yeah, the people with mantles is also interesting, but Vale laid so much on us so quickly. Are there any other... What's our whole range of stuff?
We have Vale's Hole, the people in the mountain, or going north.
There were that was a big thing.
North
weeks ago.
to the library is in an endless blizzard that I don't know if we could deal with that anyway. That'd be something.
Vale's
but
going there anyways.
Yeah, and Vale's going there, but north is north
I'd also
to
like to deal with the Bravelands people.
There's a bunch of swampland to the north in Dokus Ur where
there's also that.
One point in time you saw somebody who was like serpentine in the mists there, and there's like a massive temple that is also vaguely serpentine, and Vale has basically expressly told you to out of respect for him to not go there without him because it's dangerous.
Wait,
I think
in the north of
Dokus
Ur? I thought the last standing building from shit.
You're thinking of
Just bring us back to the map still.
Sure. Shokea?
Shokea, yes.
That's in the middle of the trench.
Okay.
That's one he would like us to never go to.
I'm scrolling. Kaz, I'll be a second.
I know. This conversation's like going weird with like where people think things are. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought when
The
you guys said
Snake Temple.
north, the Snake Temple. That's exact. Thank you.
This
Snake Tip.
This is a different place. This is somewhere Vale has asked us not to go because it's dangerous, and he should come with us.
When you are ready to explore, like when your kingdom is stable, he's like, I will come with you and we will go together. There's his giant chasm lair, of course. There is the Order of the Kiln in the mountains.
My vote's for the Order of the Kiln.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, that's right. We wanted to talk to them. Yeah.
If we know that we can go to Vale's lair a different time because he's a dragon, then this might be the better chance to actually leave the kingdom.
It would be super easy, like unless it's like magically warded or something to alert him. In which case, it doesn't matter whether
anyway.
he's
Yeah. Whether he's gone or home.
Right.
Wait, sorry.
But like on an average day, he rarely goes down there. Like once every like 2 or 3 days to actually fucking sleep long term. He is delighted by the kingdom itself and is often amongst the people.
I thought we wanted to do
Super
Luna's
easy,
Taurus
hardly
at
an
one,
inconvenience.
Luna's Taurus. Yeah, that one's harder because Vale's only supposed to be gone a couple of days, and we don't have a good way to get there.
Ah, gotcha. Well, we have our.
Yeah, you could
Around.
fly.
And
Yes. Fly by all the call outposts.
We could technically take the door in our kingdom to the ruins of High Home.
And then down.
Yeah. Oh, that's another one. If we care.
Did we not want to go to the Royal Crypt at some point? Remember, we did want to go back to High Helm and the crypt.
Yes, I was gonna say that's another one. It's not as important because the only thing we'd really be getting out of it is the sword that goes with the shield. Plus, I guess.
And the
we could-
helmet, no?
I think Morgane still has the helmet.
I'm still wearing the helmet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So that was way back when, because we lost the legacy role. We can't get access to that mace and plate armor that we saw by the king.
Right. We'd only be going
Who
back.
filled the legacy role in that one?
Everyone.
Oh, everyone did.
Galadriel.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Glad didn't, I guess.
I'm up to a whole 4 now.
We'd be able to also talk to Yolis again for what that does for us. I think the Order of the Kiln's the most interesting, and I'd rather do that.
It's
but-
also close by.
Yeah, it's the shortest time. It also has like a bird's eye view of if, I don't know, a dragon's coming back to our kingdom.
Quite true.
We can always, when Vale gets back, we can tell him we're going to the Brave Lands to have a discourse up there.
He seems willing to travel if he's involved. Kind
We
of.
just have to tell them what we're doing.
We
Yeah.
already sound like battered wives.
Listen,
I wonder
when your
if what we're thinking about doing is
boyfriend-
okay with Vale.
Listen, when your boyfriend could torch down the entire city, and that could just be a bad Taco Bell night, you take care.
Yeah, I'm still interested in
Okay, true.
the kiln people.
Want to see my boy Zamboni Jacuzzi.
Also, I just, like a fun low stakes adventure. We haven't got one of those yet. Everywhere we go is fucking mayhem.
Imminent danger and mayhem. That's true.
Yeah.
Enough of this serious bullshit. Let's get back to our zany days.
Yeah, let's go back to the
Let's-
Feywild.
yeah,
See what
Back
happens.
to season 1.
Do a beach
Come on,
episode.
guys.
No, forget the Feywild. Let's go back to imaginary fights with imaginary creatures.
Oh yeah, those guys were cool.
Go back to season 1 where it was magical and new.
Oh man.
This is season 1 for me.
Oh my god! Do you know who he is? He's the character they bring on when they need to bump up the ratings that they write all the storylines for. He's 7 of 9.
Whenever Galadriel walks into a room, you should know that there is like audience applause. That has always been canon.
Your introduction to our group was fight the worm again, fight the city again, then go back. They really did revisit the highlights of season 1. Holy fuck.
They didn't even say sorry for the clip show.
Oh man.
Hey, at least it wasn't a bottle episode.
No, that's this one. That's why we're saying
trap them in a bottle.
I mean,
yeah.
you trapped us in a dome.
Side note, you should also be aware that over the last month or so, there have not been any other cases of the Feywild curse killing people. Whether or not that is because there is no unworked metal that is being touched at all, despite the fact it's slowing down production significantly, or if it's something different, it's hard to say. You do, however, notice that there is a faint Fey presence. And that is because at one point in time, Morgaine opens a cupboard and sees Tisha in the fucking cupboard, astonished, shocked, like fly to the other side, and then when he opens another cupboard, she is gone. But ever since that day, collectively, you have had horrible, horrible things happen to you. Warren wakes up with like a giant wart on the end of his nose that makes him go cross-eyed for like an entire day. Eerie keeps finding a rock in like his tiny little shoes, even though he never walks, so like he doesn't notice for a couple of days. Galadriel's entire wardrobe seems like it has shrunk like 2 sizes, which is, kind of a homage back to your younger years. Like Saigar, the bottom of your quiver just like falls out at one point in time, like all of your arrows just come tumbling out and you have to carry them all. It's really inconvenient. Stuff like that continuously happening to you. At one point in time, there's like a note on the wall written in what you think is blood, but it turns out to just be like flavored something or other, like the traditional like paint on the wall and ketchup, that just says "They're watching you" in all big letters. And then underneath that, it's smaller letters like "You should be paranoid." Things like that happen like constantly over the next month or so, and you're not really sure what to make of it.
Yeah, not sure what to make of it.
It's a mystery.
Whenever any of it happens to Warren after the news comes of who Morgaine saw in his dresser, Warren plays it up like a lot. Like that he's really inconvenienced.
Yeah, there's the one scene of just like, I don't know, Warren discovers that he has like itching powder or whatever on his weapon sheath and like falls to the ground. He's like, "Why, Raven Queen, have you forsaken me?"
I think Morgaine would be the exact opposite. He would, if he notices a prank, he would just sort of say, "Well, how's your day going? Do you have anything? Do you need any food? Do you have a good place to sleep?"
Oh.
There's never any response, but like sometimes you'll come home to like the building and discover like there's like a foot of water that's been just poured onto like Kyvius's bed, shit like that.
She should stay on Sealy forever. With that play. God, that really got me.
It's just a foot of water.
Yeah, well, she can't carry a heck of a lot, but like a medium fairy-sized bucket of water that just like Kyvius always has like his pillow drenched in it, stuff like that. Yeah, it's real bad. I can't believe you're all taking this so easily.
It's horrible. I've never seen such despicable acts.
All right, when are we going to take care of our pest problem?
I think this is perfectly fun.
Obviously, I did not pee the bed.
I don't know about you, but this is enjoyable as fuck.
Really?
One morning you can smell something foul like burning from outside, and you open your front door, and there's like a little bag at the base of your front door, and inside is filled with like rotten gourds from the trees that's been lit on fire, and it just smells like burning sugary gourds, and you're like, oh no!
This could only
Oh,
be
no!
the Rathian Silimora.
Look out, fire! I'll put it out! And I step on it a bunch.
Oh, and you get gourd all over your shoes, idiot!
Oh, man.
What is happening?
Uh,
But anyway, that's all I wanted to add.
thanks, Tisha.
I don't know why you're thanking her. Him or her? Her? I can
think
never
it's
tell
her.
with Faye.
I like how you, like, on your screen on the webcam, you like looked at Hewitt as you said that.
Actually, the funny thing is, in the order of my other things, I was actually looking at Erie's sprite.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm dying.
At least you don't have to worry if she's doing okay. Anything, anything we should, like, take care of before we go? Like, I don't know, put out watches for strangers with blood coming from their chest.
That, and do we want to maybe... I mean, listen, I've had a month to go over it and I'm still trying to understand all of the rules about removal and laws and everything else. Do we need to make any proclamations before we leave in case Vale comes back and makes any executive decisions?
We should probably advise the people to start electing their officials. And then me and Warren need to discuss on... Well, I guess all of us need to discuss how we're going to start appointing the scholars, figuring out the competitions or trials to earn them their positions.
Talent show.
Yes.
That's a good point. I mean, I tried to read this, but it's actually so thorough that it's pretty far out of my expertise.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. It ends up being that if you start killing people, they can do stuff about you.
They probably should.
It's giving them a non-violent outlet of removing bad people.
Okay.
But
Anything-
more important is that constitution of conduct, right? We really need to proclaim that to what each of our values are, to add to it and send it out to the nation so all can see it.
Well, I mean, mine's straightforward. Are the proclamations for each of our what we're in charge of, or are they like sort of general?
The constitution of conduct is for everyone. It is a statement of how each member of government and the populace, all of Docus, should act as a base rule set. Something like be kind to one another, or always act in the best interest of your fellow man. Something along those lines.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Like, huh.
It's more, what's a value you see that's personal to you that a kingdom could be that couldn't be without a conscious and righteous kingdom.
I'll have to think about that. This isn't what to say, this isn't really what I expected when I spent 10 years training on Epitaph.
Well, maybe I'll start, and then you can all sort of ruminate over it. And it'll just be one line. Compassion, empathy, and understanding for all that reach for it.
It's idealistic.
Of course, we're the morals.
True.
We need to be the ones that put the vision forth. So when people enact laws based off of them, the core tenets are followed.
Sure. It's just a little open to interpretation, no?
It's not supposed to be specific. That's what laws are for. It's supposed to be a spirit.
Right.
A representation of each pillar's contribution to what it should be.
Right, it's not a law itself you have to follow. I see.
Soul of the kingdom, as it were.
Makes sense to me. I like idealism.
Yeah, very valiant.
Well, you don't have to come up with it now, but by the end of the week, at the very least, I want to present something to the kingdom, because we have a lot of work on here. And
Yeah.
if we're in charge of making every law, I don't think we're going to get anywhere.
Oh, I think I've got it. I think that people should be the change that they want to see in the world.
Okay.
That is on a wall in the mall I work in.
Next to the cat poster hanging from a branch saying "Hang in there."
That was my second one. Hang in there.
Yeah.
I see white college girls take pictures in front of it so often. So often.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine the second one is supplied to you by Vale, and it's like a kitten dangling from a noose dead that just says, "Hang in there!"
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yep.
Oh man.
You know it.
Well, we'll think about it. We'll have it pitched before we go. I'm sure I can think of something.
There's just so you guys, in case you want to buy anything from the list of awesome items I've made for you before you go, there they are.
That was something I was supposed to take care of before this session.
Probably
so
an artifact of legendary power.
Yeah,
Probably.
it's a mystery item of some type.
Is that
Yeah.
the bracelet?
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
It's a legendary bracelet.
Legendary power.
It's something that's hidden underneath a small napkin, and it's roughly bracer sized, but it could be anything.
I thought we discovered it was tied to the person that originally had it before.
No, I don't
remember
think
that.
so.
I don't think that happened.
We also bought the quill already.
But this is true. Did I do that? No.
What does the Order Marchero ring do?
Wait, did you guys buy the quill?
Yep.
Yeah, we did.
Oh. All right. Well,
Yeah,
hang on then.
That's what Morgaine used to write all this long government stuff.
Oh, well, let me fucking toss it in your inventory then.
What's the Orochimaru ring?
You can poison someone and knocks them out for a bit.
The wearer or someone else?
I think like they're mates and hit someone else, right?
It's a little animated snake ring that like can bite somebody and cause them to be inflicted with knockout poison venom.
Ooh.
The mercurial flail is a big two-handed looking flail that like when you start attacking with it, it's hard to stop apparently. Skyrunner's Greaves let you ascend to the highest point of the heavens. Safety not guaranteed, no protection against falling. A powerful mystery artifact, and turtle shell armor that the group discovered
Sorry, I
was
missed
hide armor.
What was the ring again?
The ring is the snake ring that poisons people.
Yeah.
If Morgaine has the shield, would he be interested in the big two-handed flail?
Yeah, the shield lets you carry a two-handed weapon in one hand.
Oh.
It's technically a one-handed weapon, but it's Spiked flails are only one-handed weapons. I was being descriptive.
You don't
It's
need
just
to
a really big one-handed weapon.
Oh
Also,
yes.
This quill is actually a lot better than I thought it was. I was just getting it for the pure. I don't know.
Oh.
I think the more
But
All of
shared
these items
Morgaine.
are so much better than you think it is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Morgaine, aren't you using a +0 weapon?
yeah, but that's really expensive.
We have 9,000 gold. We're just gonna squat on it.
Yeah, save it for a rainy day.
Just
Mhm.
buy
We
the
get-
flail.
You're right. We get so many shopping opportunities.
Yeah. Was it 44?
It's 3,600
I
for
mean,
the flail.
It's nice of Steel to put fucking Fantasy Costco in our city, but like we don't know if it's actually gonna change items.
No. It will eventually, but this is what it is right now.
A convenient way to restock the shop at the end of every arc. You son
Yeah.
of a bitch.
You have to actually buy all the items to restock.
This is
I
why
see.
Beulah's existed since day one of the campaign. Don't you fucking start with me.
Okay, so we're buying the flail, right? So
We're
Morgan
gonna
can have a
force-
+2 weapon.
As we have with every item Morgaine's ever owned, we're gonna forcibly buy it and put it in his hand.
Yes. And then the next bum on the street he sees, he'll hand it over to.
But there could be really good stuff that's next time.
Okay,
right.
and then we can just get more money. We can just stop
Yeah.
being poor.
Really
Yeah.
bad.
That's the
If you
entire
wanna
Republican strategy for
subtract-
the economy. Stop being poor.
Yikes. If you want to subtract the 3,600 gold, I'd be happy to give you a mercurial flail.
Go for it. I can't wait for this thing to suck dick.
Wow.
How dare you? How dare you? Kind of.
I
Yeah,
am writing this
sort of.
down in
Correct.
protest.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
What? This thing's awesome.
mm,
Flail crits or rolls a nat 1. Use that power twice on your next turn, but can take no other standard action.
you just keep on spinning.
Could
So
come in
you have a
handy.
10% chance to attack twice next turn.
Well, and then it attacks twice, and you fucking roll a crit again. You get trapped forever in a loop.
I don't
It's
see
like
a problem with that.
It's like a Kraken Club.
Hey, it's
better
Hey, it's
part-
not like we haven't had to work our way out of loops before. Hello, Feywild.
It's a fucking +2 weapon.
So,
though.
Steel, can we I can request potions from the list you've provided, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to pick up a potion of invulnerability and a chameleon potion. If I did the calculation, it should be only 300 gold.
Oh right. There was weren't those ones that give you fucking 25 resist for a turn, and they're not that
Yeah.
expensive?
Yeah,
Chameleon is
Well, they're
125.
yeah, chameleon's
and
125, and invulnerability is 290, right?
290, yes. So it's a minor action to get 25 resist for 1 round.
Gonna pick up one of each.
That seems fair.
Okay, I will toss those 2 momentarily.
Oh, I forgot to open the fucking potion section.
I would like to say that over the course of the month, that we are in Dokasur and don't have much to do, I cast each one of my rituals.
What do they do?
I don't care what they do. I just want to have cast them
Oh.
before.
Okay.
No, I'm just practicing. I'm practicing. I've already done Duplicate. I've already done Phantom Steed now. Cure Disease and Seeming. I, at some point, just cast to practice. Cure Disease while I'm teaching people. Maybe somebody, you know what? Someone gets a really bad case of poison ivy in the hospital that we built, and I'm in there showing, like, you know, how do you cure this with salves and everything else, and then someone gets a little overeager and spills the salve that I made, and so I was like, fuck it, and I cast Cure Disease. And then for Seeming, every morning, before Saigar woke up, I'd cast Seeming on him to make it seem like he was wearing a crown.
Nice.
I would slap Kyvius every fucking morning when I woke up. Every day I'd walk over to him and I'd give him a massive slap across the face and be like, 22. And I start counting every day.
Oh my god.
And I believe I've made a note of that. Ash, I will add those to your character sheet for next week. I have a lot of potions, but I don't have those ones.
Oh, it's cards.
Cards, yeah.
Hey,
Handouts.
Steel.
Yeah.
Expand crit range in this system.
I'll show you. Give me a quick second here.
That quill addiction should come in pretty handy.
That's pretty cool, actually, yeah.
It'd be funny though, in the middle of battle, be like, oh, just hold on a second, I'm just gonna write a letter.
Wherever it says, like, roll 1d20 in your power, change it to that. Which I know is a bunch of work, and I apologize. That's the only way to do it.
I won't have it done this game.
That's totally okay. All that means is that it will, like, show up as being green if it's 19 or better.
Trying to think. What else do we want to do for the time we've been here?
Well, let me ask you, do we have another hour for game session tonight, or are we stopping now? I can't remember. I've lost track of time.
We have it for another hour.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, is there something you wanted to get to? Because we can go over what we did of the month, like, later.
No,
If you
it's
had-
fine. No, I'm not in a hurry. If you guys want to do it, absolutely.
Okay.
But
You're the guy who said there
if we
was
want to head trek on to adventure, I've got adventure.
Listen, we've learned our lesson. If you all don't do it now, someone may do it for you before you get back.
Yes.
Okay, alright. Warren spends a month bothering everyone who can cast clerical magic and doesn't learn anything. Because everyone has a fucking different answer, because everyone worships different deities and none of it helps, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Okay, cool.
I would be doing a couple of things during the month.
Okay.
Number one, I would be finding a way to improve my crafting, because it's a new thing I've started picking up. And second, I know you're gonna fucking laugh at me for this
Here
one.
it
You're
comes.
probably
I won't.
shoot
What's he
me
gonna
for
do to
this
his arrows?
Nope.
I have a way that I'm going to be able to heal Morgaine.
Is it with shooting arrows at him?
It is.
I knew what it was gonna be, and I knew you warned me not to laugh. Tell me how you heal the robot with arrows.
He's gonna
Listen.
tie a scroll of mending to an arrow and shoot it
It
at
could
him.
be really
Listen,
good.
listen,
Give
listen.
it a chance.
Listen, I'm not saying they're nanobots, but they're nanobots. Basically,
my
it'll be a thing
God.
attached to my arrow. It's almost like a blunt arrow that gets fired at Morgaine, and it slowly repairs his armor or patches up holes in his armor.
What video game?
Thank you, Cass. That look is how I feel all the
Listen,
time.
I am Iron Man.
This is
We had an
fantasy,
Iron Man.
right?
She died to a box. She died to a fish with a box on its head. Don't be Iron Man.
Zygar laughed, Eerie laughed, the table laughed.
Ash, are you taking a new power? And are you claiming it's nanobots?
No, it's not nanobots, but
That
I
would
think
be for the best. I don't like having to veto people's power descriptions, but it's not nanobots.
it's not nanobots. I'll have to think of something else.
Okay.
Something that's a little more plausible than nanobots.
Ah, I really appreciate that. But thanks for telling us that at
Be
some point in time, you're outside the fucking house. You've got like a goddamn like one of the Warforged from Docus Ur, and that you are shooting arrows at it. And at some point in time, Warren comes up and is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And you're like, "I've invented nanobots," and nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about. But
No,
thank you for
I
making that
do
canon.
think I do think over the course of time, at the very least, I'll be able to patch up Warren if I'm close to him.
That's rad and fantastic. I look forward to you shooting
God,
Warren
I hope
to heal
it's like
him.
shooting me.
That's
walking
what he
home.
would want.
I'm sorry, not Warren. I meant Morgaine, not Warren.
Okay.
Morgane's
Nah.
just walking home and a giant arrow just lands in his chest. It's like, oh, what the fuck? How are you doing today?
And it just like explodes out into like flex tape essentially.
Yeah.
No, for the time being, I'm going to say it's more close to him. I have to be.
Understood. I can't wait.
Mid
can't wait
speech of
to learn
Karna
more.
telling me
You can't wait for the evolution version 2 and version 3, right?
Yeah. I can't wait
Eventually,
until
the nanobots become self-aware.
I can't wait until like you shoot an arrow at Morgaine and everybody's like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "I'm healing him with an arrow." And everybody can like see fucking Galadriel standing behind you, weaving his magic to fix Morgaine, just letting you live out your fantasy.
Just one finger to his lips.
He's a human. This is the best he's gonna get.
Karna leave the kingdom, by the way. There was like she hugged and everything, but that's
No.
right.
They said that they are going to stick around.
So
Yeah, how does the progress go in the month?
She's basically not talking to you until you make good on the whole like get Shireen awake thing, and I think that there is still some disagreement on that. She's thrilled. The marks around her neck never faded. She's thinking that she's actually going to get like actual tattoos around her shoulders to really like highlight the weird leaf indents and stuff. But like that's a little Valley Girl for her, so she's not sure yet. She's kind of playing with the idea. But yeah, it's very clear that this plant has grown up into her spine, because the Feywild couldn't leave you without that one last pun.
Good. No, I think I'm pretty sure it was like, I mean, to put the situation straightforwardly, it was everyone's on board, but Zygar wasn't, but we were going to do it
Right.
anyway.
I think so. Although it is tricky to perhaps make Zygar an outsider in two situations. Like, listen, we know you feel this way. We're going to do it anyway twice in a row. So I wasn't sure if things had changed.
Did we want to compromise and have me go in with Morgaine?
Well, now it gets weird because we need to know like how much time we have, because not even we're crazy enough to do it right before we leave the fucking kingdom. Like, I'm not crazy, right? Like, even the people advocating for it wouldn't be like, okay, you're on. Also, we're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we wouldn't do that.
it's probably a when we come back next time thing. Maybe.
Yeah. Any last sending spells that you were going to send off before you guys go?
I wanted to have some stuff that I would have done from the month, I guess.
Yeah.
Just super simple. Just spend some time with the craftsmen and smiths and just trying to learn some basics of blacksmithing and learning how to make things that aren't permanent.
It
Using
takes
my
it takes a couple of weeks, but you finally do make like a few tiny little things, like a little couple chain links that you make yourself, and you also get some special treatment to get your own like tiny little anvil and tiny little hammer because you, of course, are one of the leaders of Dokkan. And it's really adorable, even though you're trying to be very serious about it.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
That's all I wanted to say.
Was there more, Yuri? You said you wanted to do a couple things.
I don't know. It's just that starting to learn how to blacksmith so I can learn to do a ritual.
I can't wait to find out
What one that is? God, there's so many little things that don't need scenes, but I need to say them out loud so that they happen. I just keep trying to like remember them.
I got it.
Well, while you're remembering, I know Morgaine would be trying to gather people and inform them for the election. He tried to be organizing that throughout the entire month.
Yes. Saigar, what's your dad's first name?
Oh, shit, I forgot.
I've asked you this a couple times. Lord Glaren does put his name in to be one of the people that is considered for one of the appointed roles as a scholar, I believe they were.
He claimed he was something else. What did he claim he was?
That he is the sort of like the ambassador for the noble families.
Is that actually
The
like
official,
a thing, or
official
is that
representative?
Is that just a thing that they made up?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically.
So I'm gonna tell the group this. We gotta shut this shit down.
Well, we need to define who the scholars are in charge of, right? Is there a scholar in charge of currency? In charge of law? In charge of the police? You know, these need to be people that are the best of the best. You know, people that have mastered their craft in those avenues to lead them forward. So, you know, if your father comes forth and has an expertise that he is absolutely the best for. He has none. Well,
he had put himself forward as basically being like the master of coin amongst the people, the appointed, with the idea that his background as a highly successful businessman makes him more than qualified for it.
And whatever his past is doesn't matter because he would have to prove it in some sort of competition with his peers.
He is currently being supported.
Test?
He's currently being supported basically unanimously by all of the other nobles at this point in time.
So there would allow him to make a push for governor, but would not give him any assistance in becoming a scholar.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, little incremental steps to get up there.
Yeah. Would it be okay since Saigar's working so much on his like newfound crafting stuff? Actually, oh God, Warren would
tell me about your wizard sword, Warren.
No, okay, that's not where I was going. Warren loves that his solution to problems are to shove someone's face in them repeatedly till they learn to deal with it.
Yep.
So Saigar's learning to work on machines. So he says, hey, Shay's the only person in the world who ever invented a device that shuts down Warforged. If you're so worried about the Shireen problem, we should spend time studying what she's made and thereby spend time around Shireen. Get comfy with that image, you know? I don't know if anything comes of that, but that is my suggestion. Thought Saigar might be interested in a device that shuts down Warforged for an indefinite amount of time in one hit.
I think I would be on board with that. knowing full well that this is a touchy subject in general, but yes.
Well, the music stopped.
Okay, let's see if I can find some. So many, Jesus. Why did I do this?
Oh, the maps?
No, the music too, right?
It's too many. Hang on. Well,
And the
well,
map, he's trying to find Shireen's map. She's unconscious.
Well, your kingdom is huge.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and just
Now.
quickly
Oh, this...
remove the lad from this map.
Why is he here?
Don't worry about it.
Why am I there?
We don't know yet.
It's not important. All
I
right.
could probably, if I'm not busy, I would likely want to escort you guys there. Just knowing Karna's would probably feel more comfortable with me there.
Yeah, it's not a secret. Warren's not trying to make it a secret. You can come along. In fact, the less secret, like, the better.
I mean, and I just have an interest in Shireen as a person, so I wouldn't mind not being there. Even if we're not turning it on, just...
Outing.
For the first little while, Shireen was basically kept in like a fucking cellar that was basically dug. And then, as time went on, and as it became clear that like collectively the group was told that they're going to go ahead and worship Valen as sort of god on the island, a couple small little shrines have sort of popped up for Valen in the time period since. And it is in one of these small little single room shrines that is still unfinished, that a bunch of little tiny marionette spiders were found, and Kyvius was like, nope, shut the whole fucking thing down, burn it with fire, even though that they were like just completely innocent little creatures. It was totally shut down, and she was moved here temporarily until such time as it was seen fit to once again allow people to come and gather and worship here. And inside, I don't know if you guys can see clearly in the darkness, but the unmoving form of Shireen still sits in sort of the center chamber here, gathering a fine layer of dust, having been unmoved for about 2 weeks now. And she is... Shireen, of course, you recall, was built very feminine, and it's a striking image when you first lay eyes upon what looks like a deceased woman lying in the middle of the floor covered in dust, that for a split second, even sort of the most stone-hearted amongst you, I imagine feels like a pang of guilt, but for Saigar at least, it passes quickly.
Just so you know, I'm very on edge about this. She was parading around Shay's childhood friend's spirit like it was a puppet. You know?
Not just that. I never told you all this, but that whole episode that she put us through. It affected me more than you guys realize. Just even little things like the fact that, we thought, I know it was sounded too good to be true at the time, but it was deep down, that we thought there was a way that Shay would come back. Then having that all yanked out in front of us. It felt more than simply just trying to, stop us. It felt cruel more than anything.
Well, it probably was. She called us cockroaches, far below her. She wanted to cause us harm. But I know a lot of people that want to cause me harm. It's a long list.
Usually their motivations are understood, though. That's what I'm...
Yeah. That's sort of why I want to talk to her, you know? Like, for someone's motivation to not be a part of the Sorothian to be so strong, to that desire to want to be an individual, to want to... I just don't know where it ends, you know? Are we looking at a tyrant, or are we just looking at somebody who wants their life to change? Because the only thing I know for sure is that she wants to be an individual, and she doesn't want to be a part of the Sorothian, and she's done everything she can to prevent that from happening.
Which I think is fine on its own. That's not what I have a problem with.
Right.
It's not even so much her, but the promise of what more of her like her like it's not her, it's not what she is as a race or a thing, but rather her mentality that I'm worried about.
Yeah.
And it seems that she's the precipice, or like tip of an iceberg for something much darker and more powerful than we can imagine.
Yeah.
We've already got one gigantic one to deal with.
Well, the car push forward in their advancement of Forged all the time. This is a new precipice, and some of the machines we've seen are probably their future. They may be able to create this all the time, like her. There's no saying she's unique. The car aren't interested in unique soldiers. They'll probably be trying to beat the individuality out of this model and get the same power with less of the backtalk.
Morgane, I'm going to give her a chance. Alright, I've heard what you said. But, and this is something you're not going to be talking me out of, my hand's going to be at my bow at all times during this interaction.
Try not to point it at her.
No. I'm not trying to be threatening, but I'm just telling you.
Well, hopefully she understands cautious.
Probably used to it.
But I would say everyone else store their weapons by the door. If you want to hang back, Saigar.
Yeah, do we... I mean, we just came here to look, but do we just want to kind of rip this Band-Aid off? You want me just to go get everybody else?
I think it's best at this time. We've been delaying it too long.
Okay. Alright. Alright, Steel, we're rounding them up. We're gonna have the Shireen thing after all.
Oh, surprise!
All right.
Alright.
So is she in the room? I can't see.
I can't see
Oh,
either.
there she is.
I'm actually going to use my boots, and I'm going to... I'm going to use my boots, and I'm going to use it to move, and I am now undetectable.
Ooh. Okay. That seems pretty good.
I'm sorry.
What?
You're gonna have to back that up a little bit. Are you referring to your boots of elven kind, which lets you move sneakily for like a movement, but you're not invisible long term?
Oh, it's only during the move.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
while
Okay.
you move, you are invisible and totally silent.
I thought the person does not know where I ended up. Therefore,
I
I'm technically...
promise she doesn't know where you are right now.
That was pretty obvious.
Saigar's just going to be
I'm not
running
gonna use my
circles
boots
around the
then.
room
Sorry,
now.
I
Okay.
misunderstood the power. Ignore that for now.
Totally okay. I'm like, that's a little strong even for me.
Sorry, I
Move
misunderstood.
invisible forever.
No, I thought it was just until like the first action I take or whatever.
And there's 2 Warrens.
I can't see. I was trying to see if I didn't have a token.
You don't have like a light circle around you? You have a light circle around you. I see yours light circle.
Oh no, no, Steel's playing the puzzle music. No!
Wow, that's quite the halo you got around you, Warren. Like the the circle of light around you.
Pretty sure it's actually the fucking halo. It
I was
emits
gonna
light.
say, you're like a freaking beacon.
Oh, I guess I don't give light. I just see what I see, right?
Everybody good?
Yeah. Do we have
Okay.
any trouble getting our pals?
When you say getting your pals, what does that mean?
Oh, I meant yeah. Warren was gonna leave to like round everybody up. Like, go get Karna's group. Go get the other like whoever else was gonna be part of this. Like the
Yeah, I'd
whole
definitely
thing.
be down.
Probably
Like,
not
hey,
Garo.
Can Geralt walk? Right?
Garo's still in the hospital.
Do you want to send a message, Jerry?
I suppose.
I'll fucking send a message.
To
Who
Galadriel and Kyvius.
Yeah, and tell them to bring Karna.
God,
Yeah.
Karna, why is your token such a fucking pain in my dick?
Wow. That's so
It's
mean to
true.
Karna.
It's okay, I'll just draw her a new one.
She was paralyzed, for God's sakes. Be nice.
I'll do it again.
You fucking dare.
Jesus.
I'm running out of things on my character sheet to give up to
Yeah.
save people. Right?
I will build a robot that comes specifically after you. Elon Musk be damned. I will build AI.
All right. Poking Saigar in the butt with the spear. She doesn't really have a chill pose.
That
Tell me over here. I'm gonna be on the other
Karna's
side.
got no chill.
She's got
True.
0 chill pose.
Are we present now? Can we see?
I hope
No, Kyvius and Galad haven't been able to see the. There we go.
Gotta love roll 20. You never know when it's gonna work.
Yep, they changed their dynamic lighting, so it's been a whole thing. I apologize.
Oh, so we were supposed to see this the whole time.
You can now.
Whoops. Okay. Yes,
How-
we can.
how-
We can see now.
How
I can see
tall
now.
is this the ceiling in this room? Out of curiosity.
It's 23 feet. 23 and a half.
He's getting up.
You can't see the spiders on the ceiling.
Are
yeah.
there? Sorry, I know this. I know you're gonna laugh, but are there any kind of vantage points in the upper part of this that I could climb up to?
Yeah, you could do that. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Athletics? Wouldn't that be acrobatics?
Yeah. Nope, athletics to climb.
Oh, damn, I'm gonna
And
fail
it's
this one.
it's fairly easy. It will be DC 12.
I'm gonna fail that.
I like how
Easy
everyone
check.
around
I've got a
Saigar,
fucking 4 in athletics. All right, how did that happen?
I like that everyone around Saigar, when he starts doing this, has to just look at them like, no, he does this all the time. Don't worry about it. Just,
Saigar,
Oh, man,
you start to like
I could not even roll enough in athletics to do
yeah,
this.
you start like climbing up one of the pillars and kind of do that like the bear sliding down the tree thing, and you do the Mulan hands around it, pulling yourself up a little bit, and you can fucking slide back down. And the second time, you can hear Zolt like quietly giggling under his breath and decide it's not worth it.
oh, that's so messed up.
Spiderweb should have made it so easy for you.
True, I should have used that. It's all right. Too late.
Karna basically says, "Hey, listen, this is between you and her. I'm not getting involved. I'll listen, but I'm not jumping in to deal with any of this. If
Well,
push comes to shove, we stand with her."
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is you're here for her, right? You're
Yeah.
here to make her feel safe, so then she doesn't feel attacked.
Yeah, the last thing we want to do is her to wake up, cornered, lash out at us, and us have to do something we don't want to.
So, Kana, what would you do though if she turned around and woke up and started attacking us immediately? what would your next course of action be?
Well, it probably wouldn't be to shoot her in the back. So I'd probably maybe keep that bow knocked. Or keep bow unknocked.
No, I'm asking specifically you, not what I would do.
Yeah, I'm really more interested in what you're gonna do personally.
I'm not going to attack her
I guess
unless
we'll see.
unless I feel that
Yeah,
our lives are being threatened.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh.
I won't. I definitely won't, unless I feel it's necessary or important, or I feel like
Yeah,
it's.
this is gonna get worse as we go
Yeah,
on.
no kidding.
Well, just leave it as a non-answer then.
Kyvis, why do you have like a special card? What is going on there? Why can't I take it from you?
Because
It's a casino card.
It's
I
a
think it's
playing
one of
card.
the. I think it's one of the
I'm
playing
saving
cards,
it
right?
for a very opportune moment.
I tried to steal it. He wouldn't let me take it.
I wouldn't let him take
Yeah,
it. No, this
I
card.
can't even see it.
Yeah, who knows what it is? Any
It's
time
a-
in the game.
It's the trump card.
Please don't.
It's when you're trying to fix the API.
Because when you were trying to fix the API, I think Morgan
Oh.
dealt everybody cards to play poker.
Of course. I can. Yeah, I can't unsee it. In the final battle, Kyvis is like, yeah, 7 of clubs.
Go for it, Morgaine. You should just be able
You were
to
really close. It's a 7 of hearts.
Okay.
pull that right
Yeah,
off.
Oh,
there.
I'm free.
He's gonna reach down and he's going to grasp it and gently pull it up as to not do any harm on the way out.
Her pale, like gleaming pink eyes, like light up immediately. They open and instantly, she just like raises a hand and just like coalesces the air around herself into almost a shield. Just blinking rapidly, trying to understand what's going on. And you can see that there is still nothing but malice in her expression.
Hi,
Remember,
Shireen.
everyone, remember, the last thing she saw was us both trying to kill each other.
Shireen, it's been a month.
Seeing Morgaine and Eerie again within fairly close range, you once again feel like just her mind attempting to invade yours, but prepared this time, and very clearly like no weapons drawn, non-aggressive. It almost feels like you're able to resist, and she sort of stops halfway, and a look of hatred becomes one slowly of confusion as you can see Karna and Zolt on the back lines as well. And then after a moment blinks a few times and says, "Where am I?"
Well, I think an explanation should probably come first. So some things happened after you went down. We got to the Promised Land. We healed Karna. Garrow is still alive and still fine. I think he's currently at the hospital with some new injuries. Not ours. No, we didn't cause them. And we've had more civil discourse with Karna, Zalt, and Garrow. And this is us wanting to understand the other side. And we want to hear you out. We want to know about you because we're not High Helm. We're not Epitaph. We're something new.
You can hear behind you Saigar knocking his bow, of course, and
Not knocking my bow. I just have my bow ready. I don't actually have an arrow out. I'm sorry, I don't have an in between
I
animation
see.
for that.
got it. Check. She says, "So not a prisoner."
We made Karna that promise.
I see.
Walk out of here, we'll let you walk out.
So this is the part then where we find some common ground, where I admit that you won, we find a way to work together, where you slot me into your big picture like I'm a jagged, troublesome piece to a puzzle.
We just want to understand where you're coming from. We don't need to use you. We don't want to use you. You're free to do whatever you please. We just want to know your motivations.
Also,
Can
if
you
you
guys-
think it's that easy, you should have met Garo.
Cut.
Can Erie and Morgaine, you guys both roll diplomacy for me?
Really wish I was trained in this skill.
Well, Erie fucking nailed it.
Dag.
She angrily begins to walk out, and then as she gets to the top of the steps, she meets Karna's look, and there's a heated gaze that goes back to between them, and then the look slowly goes back down towards you, Erie, who there's a begrudging respect there, and after a moment, we were told by one of the Exalted to fulfill a mission, and if we did, we succeeded, we would be free. And I take it that we are all in this room together to understand it that we did not succeed, but we're still free. What does that mean?
Things got really complicated about that whole Exalted thing.
It means that maybe the Exalted aren't the only one who can provide for you. Maybe you can provide for yourself and gain your own freedom. We can see from the modifications you've made that you've been working for a long time toward your own freedom on your own.
Zaldon calls from across the room. The person that sent them sent us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
What were you
He
saying,
was-
Gus?
He's just pointing. No one's chasing you here.
She looks at you and then says, "You two are so alike, the way you talk. No wonder it was so easy for me to navigate the mire of your psyche to try to dangle some hope in front of you."
Warren does a lot of stuff about that first part.
Then if we
Yeah, but
have
that's-
failed,
Sorry.
I would appreciate if you killed me or put me back. I want none of this. I was happier with the cycle being broken.
What does a cycle being broken mean?
It means I was born as a pathetic slave to a master who himself is a slave. That is the cycle.
What's preventing you from just living your life right now?
Because I am under the influence of a god who sees me as a vessel to be used and discarded when it's through. And when it takes me, and she moves her cloak slightly, you kind of see that her spine has been welded and the sword that's in there has been sealed shut. When the god takes me, he will find no value here.
Is there nothing that can be done to undo this?
I fought your god. Try and find a way out for you.
I've
And
been
I
studying
intend-
Warforged, for example. Are you telling me there's nothing that can be done to rectify the situation?
No, it's possible. He doesn't have any sway over me.
You don't know that.
Well, I don't think Sagar's ever found a sword. And he's had many chances that would have benefited him. Many chances. I think if he wanted to and he had control over me, he would have killed us all by now.
All I'm saying is, do you know for certain that there's nothing that can be done to make you free away from the influence of that which you call a god? Which, by the way, I don't buy for 1 second.
if we were successful, if we had a position of power in this new land exalted by the Ka, then maybe I would be important enough to not just be a tool. But that sounds like it's not the case. So kill me or put me back.
Do you not want us to even try to help you?
I'm wondering. Say this out loud, but I'm wondering if Kana has anything to say about that.
Karna adds after a moment, like, they have done some incredible things, and she snaps back, oh please, you've experienced my talents and you should already know firsthand, you can't make people believe anything they don't want to.
If we think it's possible to sever your connection, though we don't have a solution now. The only temporary solution we had, and the main reason I was interested in keeping it was because, in the state you were in before, you couldn't be taken.
It's really simple. You either kill me now or you kill me when my head folds out into a hat. And if I am going to die, I would rather do so in the form that's my own.
Is
Put
the
me
device
back. I'm sorry?
device, is it broken?
It's not. No, you were gentle when you took it off.
So we could put you under
To a form of stasis, I suppose.
as long, but not under our supervision, under your allies. So Zoltan Karna would have direct oversight over you. Will we find a solution? And then the next time we talk, he will have no sway over you. And at that time, then we can have a real conversation. Is that fair?
Well, no, I'd be in your debt. Why the change of heart? What's really happening here? Is this a trick?
No, because I'm tired of this. Going back and forth, you do something bad to us, we have to do something bad to you. It shouldn't be equal constantly.
After
We're
all,
trying
you
to
are
build... Sorry.
I was gonna say, you are the one that told us to break the cycle. My every instinct, Shireen, is to put an end to this, like you're saying, but I'm trying to listen to my compatriots. I'm trying to break the cycle. I'm trying to change. You need to be willing to work with us in that.
It's not that I don't want to work with you. It's that I'm not always going to be myself. Simple as that.
So then we put you into stasis until we figure out how to sever your connection. At the end of the day, life is life. You should not be under the chains of slavery than any other person should be.
Your choice of tomorrow should be yours.
Well, I'm glad you feel so strongly about it. And I'm flattered. I really am. Maybe somewhere a little brighter. But I'd rather be dead than live a single moment in somebody else's control. Simple as that.
You look to Karna and... Is there anything else you want to say to her?
Yeah, there is actually. Did you control me in any way? And she looks back at Karna and then to you and says, Karna, when you faltered because of him, and she looks to you, Morgaine, and your mind became dull, I had to make sure your blade stayed sharp. And Karna doesn't say anything and walks out.
I need to... I'm gonna go after her.
Wait.
Morgaine, wait.
Yeah, you've got to...
You're the one who wanted to talk to her, Morgaine. Kana will be fine. We're also your family, too, keep in mind.
What? Not comfortable being in a room alone?
You know what, Shireen? If you want to figure out what my intention is, you need only look. Not exactly resisting you right now.
Yeah, are you interested in knowing what's going on?
I'm listening.
It can be quick, in a way you're familiar with.
Prove this is real.
How would you like us to prove this to you?
That's your problem. Prove it's real.
Ooh, what's real?
This, all of this.
Step outside. See what we've
I'll
built.
slap her.
Did it work?
Yeah, you give her a little slappy dappy and do 1 point of ultra mega damage, as I recall your character sheet says.
Yeah, and she dies.
She dies, in fact, instantly. Yeah.
I'd
Just
say
like that,
no. I'd
and-
say step out this door. Come and see what has been built in the time that you've been gone.
I think we should stay with her, though.
Yeah,
Oh, of
that's
course.
the intent.
Yeah. I'm about to get a lot of.
Like on top of the door while Steel scrolls through a million.
These ones are easy because they're side by side, but like it's thank you guys, I appreciate you. I'm not fast enough to like throw tokens out real quick.
It's okay, we were already here.
Indeed. She does in fact like look out over this land and then back at the lot of you and looks confused and says, "No sand."
No sand.
I don't like sand. It's coarse. It gets in
Get
everywhere.
out! Get out! Kick him! Kick him right now! Kick him! Motherfucker.
Yuri throws him off the cliff. Oh man.
Certainly makes upkeep easier.
It means that you are a target. And that you will fall like the hundreds of kingdoms before the call already. Surely you know this.
Unlikely,
Yeah,
but that's an explanation that would require
A lot of time.
your faith and time.
I think that, and not to mention the fact that it's completely unlikely you would even believe us. Speak with your former companions, have them tell you what's going on here, have them tell you about the security measures we have in place and the protection of this land, and us.
Not just that, Kyvius. It's not just about the security. Think about like what Morgana said, the principles and what we want, how we want this land to operate.
You don't have to believe us. You've got companions that you travelled with and quested with for this place, who reside here now, and have chosen to stay. You have every opportunity to do the same for yourself. It's obvious that you've been trying to create a life for yourself, free from whatever bonds that could eventually come to claim you. All the people here are doing the same.
We're pretty good at it too. I fought your god, you know. I beat one of his bodies. I won't beat more, but with help I beat one. That's something.
You have played a single ant in the hill, but I'm proud of you. And then she, after a moment, looks to Karn and says, "And if the two of us are left here and I start to turn," and Karn interrupts and says, No, gladly. Don't even worry about it.
Do you want... Yeah, that's fair.
Now, Shireen, there is something that needs to be said, right? We want to give people chances. We want to do the right thing. We want to break the cycle. That doesn't mean that I forgive you for what you did to us. Doesn't mean I'm going to hurt you or harm you unless you force us to. But it must be said that this is not wipe away what things I've done in the past.
She has an extremely infuriating Galadrian level smirk. and says, "I don't remember your name.
Oh my god.
Can you remind
That's-
me?"
That's okay. I'm Pew Pew the Archer.
Well, you the archer, if I do ever betray you, I promise you will never be able to tell the difference.
Well, with that aggression aside, one last note in case you were worried about it. Don't worry about not being valued in this. I think, one of the pillars is a warforged. It's gonna be stated that all sentient races are gonna be treated equal. Plus, warforged need a governor, and right now a lot of them aren't super sentient yet. So think it over.
I don't know what a pillar is or a governor.
Figure it out. And he's climbing down the ladder.
He likes to front load things.
Salem, yeah, he's good at it though. Yeah.
And with Karna and Shireen and Zalt still watching from the small little hilltop shrine to Valen, appropriately enough, god of second chances, you start once again making your way down to Dokazur. And from here, from this distance, you can very clearly see that the mountains here are scalable, although it would certainly be difficult. And if you wanted to begin your ascent, you could certainly do so with the idea of arriving probably no later than this evening to whatever that apex, that mountain retreat actually is.
Sounds good to me.
We give
Before we can
Mor-
make another chance to fap
Yeah.
around.
Morgaine carries around the Shireen stop device at all times in case she does turn.
It'd be kind of
All
hard
right,
for us to shoot it across the kingdom, though, Warren.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you could totally make the shot.
I could.
That's true. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, I see what's. It's the end of the session. We're going. That's where we're
It's
going.
not. I want to go for like 10, 15 more minutes if that's okay with everybody.
That's fine.
Is that cool with everybody?
Do we get jacuzzi time?
Kaz?
I'm good.
Okay. Benji?
It's rough, but we can go.
Okay. I'll be as quick as possible.
You say 10-15 minutes, it's always 45.
I promise I'm watching every minute this time. I'm gonna watch how fucking fast I go. You pack a quick little lunch. I imagine that Saigar is still like overeating at this point in time, and probably a bit more potato salad than is strictly necessary for a day trip up a mountain, and
Cigar.
begin your ascent. And
Just don't be behind me.
Oh my
and
god.
No!
God. Damn
No!
it.
Oh,
We
that's still
turn
there. Oops,
around.
hang on. Sorry, that was just a subconscious. Anyway, as you begin your apex up the actual mountain path, you are stopped very briefly, a single time, by what you think is like a couple of like boulders rolling down the hillside, sort of generally towards you, like a small little mini avalanche, and you're concerned before they kind of bounce harmlessly away. And very, very briefly, you catch sight of the person who was sort of like watching you from the actual apex of the mountaintop, dressed in very simple robes, very monk-like, and lightly clad. She darts and leaps up the mountain like she is Cloud Strife leaping from chunks of falling machinery, with extreme nimbleness. And for a split second, you even see that she like flaps her arms mid-jump for like a bit of a lift, like she has wings that of course aren't visible, no feathers on her body. She seemed mostly human, although again with superhuman agility almost. And as you begin to climb further and further up this rocky, uncomfortable path, pretty soon, eventually, it actually starts taking shape to really be more like there's something that's been built here. And you come to a small little like shrine entrance that has like actual well-woven or well carved stairs into it. And trekking through, oh, Steph's here to give me snacks. Thank you, sweetheart. What are they? Oh. Nutella and marshmallow croissants. Thank you very much. This is why I'm fat, I guess. Thank you so much, Steph. That cost me a minute of my 8. Fucking bitch. No.
I'm telling.
And as you actually like climb further and further and further through this, realize that you're moving like in through the actual mountains themselves, and there's a sense of like strange lightness here almost. And halfway through your trek through these little caves, you can see, those of you who have like low light or dark vision in here, or are just a Ladrin who is perfect, you can actually see that the walls here have been painted with like thousands of different phases of the sun and the moon on the walls in this beautiful radiant ink that no doubt would be a gorgeous color when the light shone within this little cavern. It's really fucking good.
It's a nice location. Getting soaked in.
Yeah. And when eventually you do step out onto the other side, you find that everything has been carved to almost be like a small, shallow pool where you all stand in about an inch of water. And in the center of this courtyard is a slightly overgrown, mossy statue, one hand up in a sort of a martial artist style meditation pose, the other hand held at the waist, open palmed, with water pooling down into it in a deep reflective state. And there's a couple of trees here, ancient autumn-leaved trees that the leaves begin to drop off the trees themselves and into the gentle pool. And it's gorgeous, and you quickly realize that you are not the only people present here, because the shape of a large red-skinned orc clad in like thrown this beautiful cape blanket over his shoulders, and also that same woman that you had seen on the way up, claws on both hands and feathers in her hair, and again lightly clothed, eyes you with dark suspicion as the smiling, jovial face of Jacuzzi Zamboni.
Other way around.
Zamboni Jacuzzi, of course, my favorite character in this game, waves you in.
Yeah, we
happily
fucking go
wave
with-
back.
Yeah.
He says, my fellows, I'm glad to see the mountains didn't consume you like they have so many before you.
What are you doing here?
You have come to the Barquay Monastery. Here you can clear your mind of hate, empty your being of the haze of distress.
It's nothing. I mean, that sounds nice.
You picked a momentous time to do so as well.
Why's
Yeah.
that?
It is also the time of the weaving of the sky. And Rodella here will be inducted into our fold. And the woman, again, doesn't really give you a look that is anything that suggests to you that she is going to be your new best friend. But you can see that same ink on her arms and forehead and has multiple designs that are different suns, that you recognize her as being sort of a member of a follower of Palor.
Is that called the weaving of the skies, or is the weaving of the skies some kind of holiday?
It is when we call the spirits of battle down, and they will judge her worthy to receive our secrets.
Oh. Are we allowed to
Yeah,
observe
like-
this?
Of course. I will have to consult the master, who only wakes once every 10 years, but he will no doubt be delighted that we have visitors.
Does he bleed from the chest? Just
He does not.
okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
Oh, he.
Question.
Were you asking about
Is
the
this a
emoji
veil
jacuzzi,
check?
or are you asking him if the master bleeds
master,
from the
yeah.
chest?
Is this
And
like a
he-
veil check, Morgan?
And Jacuzzi scratches at his chin as he talks and says, "Did you find the path up here to your liking?"
It was stones. I sort of just walked it.
It's quite scenic.
This was my doing, you know. I lost both my brother Alfredo and my sister Ferrari in our first journey here. I wish to make it easy for anyone else.
Oh, woe to Alfredo and Ferrari Jacuzzi.
Orcs have such great names.
Well, he says, half Oni, but
Clarify, did he say the master didn't bleed from the chest?
he's confused by the question, but says, I don't believe the master has blood.
Oh, that's a new
Interesting.
unique. Cool. Y'all are pretty hardcore up here.
We have observed from afar your great progress. You would do well to spend weeks among us learning.
What could we learn amongst you?
We have no knowledge or wisdom here, only secrets. The difference is this: wisdom is like algae in a pool. Given time, it grows so expansively that everyone may possess some. A secret is like a drop of, I don't know, liquids. Blood? What's not blood?
Water?
No, it has. You can't have water
Um,
in water for this metaphor. It has to be a liquid that's not water. I don't want it to be blood because that sounds really sinister. Some other
Honey.
liquid.
Do honey.
Well,
Honey is always good.
honey's not really a liquid.
Wine? Does wine work?
Yes. Well, this is. We don't really drink wine here in the monastery. Something perhaps a little less.
Fruit
Yeah.
juice! Fruit juice!
All right. Yeah, a drop of fruit
Right,
juice
we
in the
get it.
same pool. Yes. When it's allowed to spread, it becomes less than nothing. That's what secrets are like, is fruit juice. And so
What about snail juice?
I'm sorry, what juice?
Snail juice.
No, Saigon, shh, quiet.
Speaking wisdom.
Yes. And so we do not share our secrets carelessly. Only one person every 10 years is brought into the fold and awakened to truth if the spirits deem it allowable. But please, let me show you to the temple proper.
Is it just what I sound like when I talk about jam dunk and stuff?
Yes, absolutely,
bit, yeah.
yes. 110%.
No, he sounds way smarter.
Oh, fuck. Erie, we gotta rethink our pitch.
He turns and Radella like spins and follows behind, and you walk a little while further, and then you travel through another cave through the actual mountain itself. And when you come out the other side, and here's where we're going to stop, you are greeted with the most exceptional sight. It is a massive statue, enormous, and at the base of it is just a small little meditation chamber. But it is one of those exact same statues that you saw in kind of like the borders of the southern Ka. Very much the same kind of style of manufacture, Kyvius, that you saw in the actual Feywild.
Mm-hmm.
They're everywhere, and it's always been a mystery to you. And as you feel like just the leaves on the breeze shooting past you, and the air up here is cleaner but somehow thinner than ever before, there's a strange, almost a spiritual settling that falls upon all of you. And then Jacuzzi shouts something in a very loud voice and like puts a hand up, and he speaks in the abyssal tongue. And all of you watch as the statue moves and lifts the staff aside and reveals a door at the base. And it blinks once and remains motionless. And that's where we're going to stop today's game session.
Take me away to peaceful Monk Mountains.
It's so peaceful. Next game, I need everybody to be ready for like 100% combat.
Oh yeah, you promised him a
Are we
combat.
gonna fight a mountain?
That's true. Seal thought we would have a combat today, but we actually had too much stuff to do.
You did.
I mean, Vale could have turned into a combat if I really wanted to.
I mean,
Could've.
if we wanted to end the campaign early, sure.
Why
Yeah,
do
we
you think
could.
Vale would hurt you? I don't understand this. Thanks for going a little bit late, guys. Like I said, next week's gonna be a big one that I'm excited for. And I will see everybody then.
All right.
Oh, question.
Hmm.
When Epitaph and arrive, were the two items the gifts?
The
Yes.
shield and the leather
Okay,
armor.
yeah.
What were Iron Guest's gifts?
Oh God.
Arxis.
I realized,
Arxis. Yeah.
I realized that I didn't finish the item card handout for Iron Ghast. I was a shithead and I didn't do it, so I was like, fuck it, they get 2 of these guys.
Okay. I mean, what we got is sick. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
My AC,
I was like, I'm like a Residium or like an Astral Diamond or something. Nah, fuck that.
I finally get to join Morgaine. I'm in the 26 AC club.
Jesus
welcome.
fucking Christ.
Dip dodge, zip zoom, zamming out of here.
All right.
Right,
Yep.
do an accent for Zamboni. Good night, guys.
Night, guys.
Good night, everybody.